Children need access to necessary tools, such as education and support, in order to grow and reach their full potential. Adolescent experts say after-school and summertime programs, early learning opportunities, mental health services, and career and college prep play a huge role in the development and success of today's youth. But many families face disadvantages that inhibit children from this progression.
I think the seed to establishing the Kids Hope Alliance was planted well before I even realized it. And when we created this, I look back on a moment in 2014 when I was running for office of mayor the first time and traveled this entire city, knocked on a door, and a young man answered, said hello to him, asked if his parents were home, but then said, "Hey, how old are you?" He said, "I'm 9 years old." I said, "That's cool. I have a 9-year-old son as well. What do you like to do?" He said, "I like to play baseball." And then he just moves on to, I saw a guy get shot out in front of my yard last night. And it shocked me that a 9-year-old had that experience. And then I learned over time that happens more often than we'd like to acknowledge or even realize in major cities. And fast forward, I started spending a lot of time with youth and young people in groups, and really came to the conclusion that every kid deserves an opportunity for education, jobs, nutrition, etc.
Well, basically, we're an entity built out from the government to provide, through nonprofit organizations, the services for at-risk kids. If a child doesn't have hope that their future can be good, they're really in an uphill battle to make it into adulthood in a very positive way. COVID changed everything to a certain extent. We already had gaps, and learning gaps. We already had areas of the city that were more violent. We had areas where gangs were and what have you. And everything became more difficult and were exacerbated by COVID, especially as it relates to learning, where so many of the children that needed the early learning proficiency in reading needed to have people in front of them helping them to read, and we were pushed to have it through technology, through virtual, and many of the people that needed it the most didn't even have the wherewithal and the equipment to do virtual and to do technology learning.
Kids Hope Alliance was established as a local funding source to bring these nonprofits together, to come out of the silos and work together to provide a holistic approach to children and breaking the cycle of poverty in a way. And by bringing all the right partners to the table, we're able to work on these issues together in a systematic way. Well, we fund about 100 different sites and after school throughout the city. When nonprofits get funding from us, they can count on that for typically 3 to 5 years, which allows them to sustain their programs, to learn from them, and to get better over time.
A nonprofit funding agent formed in 2018 by Mayor Lenny Curry, Kids Hope Alliance of Jacksonville, invests millions annually in children and youth programs and services in Duval County. KHA works alongside local nonprofits to ensure thousands have access to academic enrichment, nutrition, and mental health services, and manages hundreds of programs that provide services to children and families from birth to adulthood.
We serve about 20,000 each year. We basically fund about 90 separate nonprofits that run about 200 different programs from cradle to adulthood. The ultimate goal is to provide basically a route, an avenue where a child can reach their potential.
The struggles that children and families deal with are as unique as the people themselves. Many do not have access to what's needed to thrive and live enriching lives. By taking a holistic approach to their various initiatives, Kids Hope Alliance of Jacksonville helps to ensure these needs are met so that the benefits provided can impact families for years to come.
Some of the after-school programs that we provide are for elementary, actually middle and high school. We focus some around STEM, for the elementary age, and in the high school age we have some that are really focused on career readiness. At Kids Hope Alliance, we take a holistic approach to services, which means that we really try to include the family, the community, and the child. Say they get a meal at the program. If they go home and they're experiencing food insecurity when they get home, they're still going to not have those nutritional needs met, and they're still going to suffer from some physical and emotional trauma. So we try to provide food to that family as well, so that the whole family is lifted out of poverty, as well as just the child succeeding more in school.
Kids Hope Alliances of Jacksonville funds over 90 nonprofits, paving the way for them to achieve their respective missions and impact countless lives. The unmet literacy and mental health needs of today's youth no longer have to remain unaddressed. Those who were previously disadvantaged now have a chance to join our country's best and brightest. Through the funding provided by KHA, a more hopeful and equitable future is finally achievable.
Communities and Schools of Jacksonville is a nonprofit organization, and all of our services take place in Duval County Public Schools. We're currently in 39 schools, reaching 7,000 students through 3 areas: literacy, after school, and case management. By 16, my family was almost depleted. My father drank himself to death. But I went to an after-school program called Harlem Teams in Harlem, and I met a lady there named Claudine Howard, who took me in, gave me a summer job and an after-school job, and helped me through high school. Kids Hope Alliance knows they can't do it by themselves. That's why they have over 90 providers that they fund. The school district, United Way, who helps out with mental health, the sheriff's office, the state attorney's office, all coming together for one cause, and that is to serve kids and help them and produce productive members of society.
These young people need to know that this is about them, that we, city leaders, the people in these programs, care about them and love them.
Every child deserves the opportunity to reach their academic, career, and civic potential. With the right resources, they can succeed. Learn more today about Kids Hope Alliance of Jacksonville, helping children grow, thrive, and empower their voices. For program and provider information, visit kidshopealliance.org.